Yeah, so that ZV1, if it's the ZV1 that I'm thinking of, you can completely film an archery hunt with that. And not only that, it has the megapixels to take those good, after shots that you're looking for, that trophy grip and grin. Yeah, right there. It's 748. I
Yep.
mean, that's perfect for if you're going to be your first camera. It's small, fits in your pocket. It's not going to be bulky. It's going to be lightweight, so you don't have to maybe spend the money. Like what we're going to talk about here in a little bit is like camera arms. It can fit on pretty much any camera arm. It's light. That's going to be probably my number one that I point guys towards for archery hunting, specifically your first camera.
I filmed a bunch of deer hunts with this camera. 2 years ago, this is the only thing I used to film deer hunts was this little camera right here.
It's super light, isn't it?
It's literally, it's smaller than your cell phone. Like it's thicker, but the footprint isn't very big. I mean, you can literally fit it in your pocket.
It's not super high quality stuff, but it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's good enough for YouTube or whatever you want to use it for.
Yeah, exactly. If you can tell what the subjects are, you can film, deer and as soon as they get that 60, 50-yard mark, that's what you're looking for in an archery setting. You're not trying to film something 200-300 yards away and rifle seat. If you're sitting in a box blind, now you're getting into different subjects. And then basically from there, I would jump to like maybe it's called an NX70.
And Sony.
It's another Sony. You'll hear me going back to Sony a lot just because I like Sony. I've owned Sony equipment things. It's treated me very well. It would be the ZV or NX. Maybe try the NX80.
Yeah, I think the 70 is the old model now.
Is it the old model? Yeah, This is 3-4 years ago. So I don't know what the equivalent is. So that's going to the next jump up in terms of just a point and shoot. That's the 90. So I know there's one in between there.
There's a used one for $1,700.
There you go. That's what I mean. You go from like 1,000, and then there's nothing really in between there besides maybe a 6500, which is an interchangeable lens system. But the point and shoots, that's what I would go with. And if everybody probably knows, the hunting public, they've been using an NX90 for the past 5 years on their film.
Yeah.
So that's the quality that they continue to use is that NX90, which is the next point and shoot, which is what I would say for guys if they're going to want to really film their hunts. Now you're getting a little bit bigger in size, but that's covering pretty much all your bases for that.
Yeah.
The only downside is it doesn't do photo. So where the ZV1, it does photo and video. So you can still take those, grip and grin shots.
Right. Yeah. And this is probably 15 times bigger than that ZV1.
Yeah, it is. The in-between stuff that now there is, I've seen some pretty good Handicam things. Like the
AX53
100 or 53.
Yeah.
They're at that $1,200 mark. It's somewhere in there, if I believe. They're pretty good, but you need a little bit better external microphone to go along with that camera. And the same thing with that ZV1. I would upgrade the microphone system in it just so you can get that higher quality sound. And then you can start diving into all the accessories.
This is the AX700. They don't even make these anymore, I don't think. But I think that's the one you're talking about.
Yep,
it has the 1-inch sensor.
Yep. That's the exact one I'm talking about. That's a great point and shoot camera. It's lighter. That's pretty much it for what I know in terms of the point and shoot stuff. That little bit lower quality, not lower quality, but lower budget.
Yeah.
Under $1,500, like you said. That NX80 you can get used on sites, Facebook Marketplace. You can get them on any Adorama, B&H. For that $1,600 mark, $1,500 mark, and everything. Those other two options are 1,000 to 1,500.
And maybe it's just me, but I mean, Handicams or these camcorders, they're a thing. Like companies aren't making these anymore either. It
No,
doesn't seem like. I mean, every one we looked at is discontinued now, and these are the newest models.
well, and that's basically the reason behind that, is because the next level is that Sony interchangeable lens system, the E-mount stuff, which is basically you get into the A7 Mark III, and now you're getting into more, not the professional level, but it's user friendly enough that it's easier to figure out. And there's so many out there on the market now. They took over that Handicam market.
Yeah.
The reason I tell people to get away from Handicam stuff is because once you buy it and use it, you're going to get a little bit of use out of it and realize it's not exactly what you want. And now it has no resale value, because you can't get rid of a camera that was cheap to begin with, and now it's even cheaper. And people are just a lot of guys are just gonna say, why would I spend $1,000 for something that's used that doesn't do what I want? I can just save an extra $500, upgrade by 10 times, and have brand new.
Yeah.
So that's why it's really you got to be really careful when buying that first camera. That, in my opinion, that Sony ZV-1 is like that's like the best one I think out there for the bang for your buck.
You'd rather use that ZV-1 than the AX700 then for you. They have the same sensor size and all that too. You're not losing anything like that. You lose zoom obviously, but
in my opinion, like I archery hunt a lot, and you do too. That's the main place where most guys are going to be filming their hunts, is archery hunting. Point and shoot stuff when they're shooting their bow in their yard. They're not trying to get out there 100 and some plus yards.
Yeah.
So that's
you don't need a 10x zoom on something like that.
You're going to start spending money when you get in that 10x plus. Like that's where I spend a lot of my money too, is that
reaching
out and being able to see what the subject is.